Hello everyone, Gamertag here, and today we're gonna have something a little bit different for this video. So for the first time in any video I've released on this channel from a Pokemon Challenges standpoint, we finally get to evolve our starter. So this was suggested as a Torterra run of Platinum. But then I started thinking and thought, well, instead of just modifying the game to start with Torterra, why don't we just pick Turtwig and then evolve it into Grotle and then Torterra? Because this way, we'll have a little bit more of a challenge with some of the earlier fights. Maybe not a ton of challenge, I mean it all depends, but certainly having a Torterra is going to make it way easier than if we had to fight something with a Grotle or a Turtwig, because our stats are going to be loads better, so why not pick Turtwig? It's a starter that I almost never pick, and I honestly couldn't even tell you the last time I ever picked Turtwig. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be finding out if Torterra is really the best starter. We end up naming it broccoli, like the food. Also, broccoli's good for you, and those Turtwig stands are also going to tell you that Turtwig is good for you too. We get an Impish nature, which means more special attack, or less special attack and more defense. Apparently I'm getting my natures mixed up. We did get a really good, perfect special defense IV. Not great for attack, but I think we'll be okay. I mean, look how high that base attack is. You can just see how good our natural bulk is. Look, I know we have a 4 times ice weakness, but our bulk is amazing. Really good HP, amazing attack and defense, solid special defense, even decent special attack and okay speed. From a stat standpoint, Torterra's fantastic. Now, I know we're going to be comparing the starters. Yes, I do plan on doing the other two. As a, what Pokemon can beat Platinum the best. And that doesn't necessarily mean that one starter is better than the other. I know a lot of people would say that, Infernape is the best. Piplup is my personal favorite. Its middle evolution, Prinplup, is easily one of my least favorite middle evolutions. It's just so awkward to say. But one of these is probably going to be the best for taking down this game. And for all I know, maybe Torterra does far better than I expect. Maybe it's just as hard as I expect. Because, 4 times ice weakness. And we have an ice gym coming up that I know is going to be very, very difficult. But aside from that, we're going to have a really easy time for the first gym. We have to fight the rock gym first, and, well, I don't expect any difficult. Before that, though, we have to fight our first rival fight. Now, I know there's one early game right out of the gate, but this fight was really easy. He never even used a super effective move. Now, I don't know if Chimchar had Ember at level 9. I'm not sure. And I should know, considering, on my actual cartridge, I kind of have him on Inferno right now, and I should know. But he never even really attacked us that much. But does anybody else have issues with the first fight where he just never attacks you? Because all he did the whole time was use Leer. But we're going to move on to Roark. So you know how I said that Roark was going to be really easy? We used Withdraw just to get a defense boost just in case we needed it, but he just didn't even do anything. All Onyx did was go for Harden, get healed up with a super potion after Absorb, and then get finished off. By the time Cranidos came in, I was hoping for something amazing like a headbutt flinch, and he just uses Pursuit. Alright, well, guess that fight was easier than I thought. I mean, I wasn't worried, but still, I was hoping he'd at least make it interesting. Now we have to do the Mars fight in the Valley Windworks. It's not really that difficult of a fight. I mean, we have a Grotle now, or Grotle, or however you say it. I always read it as Grotle, so Grotle it is. It's like we're going full Grotle. No? Alright, well, it's too late to remove that. It was a really easy fight, though. Now we can fight the Grass Gym. Now, she does like to lead Turtwig, my arch nemesis, since we're second stage, and set up Reflect. Thankfully, I can just use Curse and just stall out her Reflect. Because of that, we can just wreck through most of her team. Now, Roserade's going to be an obvious one-shot, because it's frail anyway. Oh yeah, As you can clearly see, we were able to do a bit of a layout change. The background is still the same, but thanks to watching a couple videos on YouTube, I was able to figure out how to get the screen separated so it gives it a much cleaner aesthetic. Hope you guys like it. I think it looks a lot better, and it looks a lot less jumbled. Before we had this like big giant dark shadow in between that second screen, and now with that gone, it's a lot more open. It's great. Another commander fight with Jupiter. Now this actually took 2 tries. Not because of Skuntank, it was because Zubat used Toxic on the first turn. I can't believe we're fighting Toxic this early, but on the second try she didn't use Toxic and we're able to get the win pretty easily with just under half our health left. She couldn't really hit us that hard and thankfully Night Slash never crit. I didn't need Torterra for Fantina, at least I didn't think I would, but this fight was a lot closer than I thought. So we were taking out some of the trainers, and then I ended up just grinding because I was close to Torterra. Ended up getting Torterra fighting one of the trainers, and then got close to 33 in the process. I figured I might as well take them all out since we can't really fight them again, and we're gonna probably need the levels later in the game. Miss Magius really messed us up as we hit ourselves in confusion, and Shadow Ball did some good damage. Thankfully though, we didn't end up losing because Haunter couldn't really do anything with Sucker Punch. It would have probably been better if she went for Hypnosis, but hey, that's her just not being smart. At least it was the first try. The streak at least is in, full swing. But don't worry, I already know that's all going downhill when we get to the Ice Gym. There's no way we first try that gym. Speaking of first trying, the rival fight was also first try. We're insanely strong being a Torterra at this point. The fact that we get that at level 32 and get Earthquake upon evolution is just insane. Now I know we probably would have ended up picking it up if we didn't, or probably had it by this point. Now we may seem a little bit over leveled because we're just tearing through Maylene and she was really easy, we first tried it no problem, but we needed some attack for effort values and I wanted to make sure we got every last bit out of all the trainers in her gym. Considering that a lot of them are required fights, I wanted to make sure we fought all of them. Because, it's not like we can go back and fight them. Before Wake though, we have another rival fight before the Pastoria gym. As usual, our attack's down to Intimidate thanks to Staravia. It'd be nice if he led something else for a change, but this fight was just as easy as the last. The only difference is that his Monfernos reached level 36 and could have evolved, but didn't. It's evolved in the next fight though, which could make for a difficult fight, but this fight is nothing different than the last. It's really easy and we pretty much one-shot everything he has. Alright, let's see how the water gym goes. Now, how much is Ice Fang gonna mess us up? That's the real question. Now, I was really kind of worried actually because I thought Gyarados had Ice Fang. But all he does is keep using Waterfall for decent damage and knocks out over half our health. Thankfully, after the Hyper Potion, Razor Leaf crits allowing us to one-shot, and we just survive Floatzel's Ice Fang. What's crazy is, if we don't crit that Razor Leaf, we probably go down to Ice Fang. I mean, there's no probably, we definitely do. So thanks to a little bit of luck, we first try our 5th gym, and now we have our first Cyrus fight. Now, I really thought this fight was going to be incredibly smooth. We ripped through his first 2 Pokemon like it was nothing. Despite the fact that Sneasel healed up with a Hyper Potion, we just one-shot him with Return. Now, we would have just taken him out in the next turn. Golbat's going to miss Supersonic, but I was really surprised at how much damage Murkrow did. Drilpack almost just half our health from this thing. I don't know if he has a really high attack stat and I'm just not expecting it to hit this hard. Is Murkrow's attack that good? Because that did way more than I thought. At least we won. Alright. The Canalave rival fight is usually one of the more difficult, to some the most difficult. However, this wasn't that bad. You can see we're level 50. And part of that was just because we needed to be able to outspeed Staravia. Without being able to one-shot it, we actually ended up losing. So I ended up just getting it to level 50, and then we were able to one-shot. We were really close when we got to this point anyway, and the rest of the fight is smooth sailing. All of his team is pretty much a one-shot, and we don't take that much damage. And we get Giga Drain. This should complete our whole moveset. Wait, do we have Crunch, don't we? I might have missed that. I'm pretty sure we have Crunch. Okay, we have to. Giga Drain's like one of the last moves we get. Let's just get the Steel Gym out of the way. Alright, Magneton's going to be a one-shot with Earthquake. Steelix is not going to be a one-shot with Earthquake, so because of that, we're going to use Giga Drain. We weren't even fully healed when we got to this because I just took out the trainers, healed up our power points, and then just took him out. I mean, really, it's not like we were going to lose this fight. The only chance we had at losing would have been if he, I don't know, somehow froze us with Ice Fang. But I mean, that's only a 10% chance. But I figured I'd, risk it anyway. Reset button's a pretty easy thing to hit. Alright. Time for some Team Galactic stuff. As if you don't fight them enough. Like, look, if you want to play through Platinum, and you never have, but you've seen videos, and don't feel like fighting through it because Team Galactic is just a slog to fight through, I don't blame you. The fights aren't difficult. Well, now they're not because we have a Torterra, but they're incredibly repetitive because their teams are pretty much the same, except for, oh, we're gonna add Bronzor now. But the Golbats aren't that strong, Bronzor can't do anything outside of confusing you or putting you to sleep, and Perugly can put you to sleep, but thanks to our high defense, it can't do anything. I mean, Slash didn't even crit, and we have Giga Drain to recover. This was really easy, and the fact that I have to keep doing these is just... it's kind of annoying just because I just want to get to the more difficult fights. Like, not Team Galactic and the Ice Gym that's coming up. Because I have been dreading the Ice Gym ever since I began this challenge, and it's nothing new. This gym is going to be a pain. Also, this route is a pain. I know I talked about it last time, but this is easily my least favorite route in the entire game. You eventually get these giant, snowdrifts as tall as your trainer, and it's just incredibly slow. There's not really a lot of Pokemon that you can have to worry about battling here, because there's no, grass in the snowdrifts or anything, but it just seems like it just takes forever to get through. And there's a lot of trainers to, get experience, which is fantastic, but the fact that it seems like this route takes longer and longer every time, and you can't get rid of the hail, just makes it take so long. But we finally get to Snow Point, and now we can lose in the Ice Gym. Yes, I already told you what's gonna happen. At least for this one. Why? Yes, while Abomasnow's Avalanche doesn't one-shot us, we don't outspeed Frostlass. I was really hoping we would, but then I remembered that Frostlass has a base speed stat of 110. So, we just got up to level 68. And yes, I'm pretty sure this is going to be enough to outspeed because 67 wasn't enough to outspeed. And I also went and checked what, her max IVs were, and we were just above that at level 68. Now, I know she has some EVs and not max IVs and stuff, but we do outspeed this time, and we don't miss thanks to Snow Cloak. I'm so glad that they made Snow disappear when it gets to Gen 5 after 5 turns. I mean, Abomasnow isn't her lead anyway, so it would have still been around as it was. But it's just nice that they actually put a limit on it, because having to go back and forth just switching weathers just would get really annoying. Besides, having to deal with strategy going around that makes for much more interesting matches as opposed to just, here, have my hail that lasts the entire time. And I think if you use Sunny Day or Sandstorm or something, I don't know if that completely gets... I think that gets rid of it, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done it in a long time. So Cyrus and his little hideout thing isn't that bad. We don't outspeed Honchkrow despite being at the perfect level 69. Nice. But we don't outspeed because Honchkrow just is really tanky, at least in physical defense. Well, not in defenses. His defenses are bad. I meant HP. Just mixing up some stuff here. But its HP is insane. We also don't, if we actually could use a stab move against it, we definitely would have outsped. But now we have to do more commander stuff. The biggest thing is, if there was only one commander, this would go so much faster. But there's so many commander fights. And this is partially why I don't really look forward to platinum runs. Don't get me wrong, it's what people are, like, this was suggested, and I'm happy to do it because it was a suggested run. But the thing with Platinum is, because it just seems like it takes so long to play through, I don't think it's something that I generally look forward to doing. Now, obviously, if it's a suggested run and it's something that people are interested in, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure there's people that are going to want to see if I can make it through this game with Pachirisu. But Pachirisu, being the mascot of the channel, that deserves a milestone accomplishment. And I know we're ways away before we get to that point. However, we are closing in on 200 subscribers, sitting at 195. Now, I don't usually do something planned for, every 100, as we didn't do anything for 100 subscribers. But maybe we do something specific for 200. Now, since we didn't do anything for 100, I think we are going to do something for 200. If we can hit 200 subscribers, I'll do some sort of crazy challenge. Now, it's not going to be Pachirisu. I'm sorry for those of you potentially hoping that it is. But Pachirisu would be like if we hit 1,000, and that's not going to happen for a while. But hey, it could. Alright, let's get Cyrus out of the way. So, amazingly, he doesn't outspeed us, thankfully. We ended up getting a ton of speed EVs. We outsped him at 72 as well. But I ended up having to retry this. And it was partially because Honchkrow wasn't a one-shot. So Honchkrow wasn't a one-shot. He would hit Drill Peck, then Crobat would come in and hit Toxic. And then we'd end up just falling down to Toxic because we couldn't recover enough health to actually get through the Toxic poisoning, because it just rack up. This time, though, we end up flinching from Air Slash, but we have Giga Drain to recover on Gyarados. Amazingly enough, though, we still get close to losing, because Ice Fang is doing like 60 damage, which is insane. Okay, a little bit more than 60. But thanks to that, he didn't crit, and we're able to get through the Cyrus fight and get the win. Alright, well, there's not much to say about Volkner. We're literally just going over to Earthquake and hitting the A button 5 times. It can't miss, and it just one-shots his entire team. Really, this is what I expected. If we outsped everything Cyrus had, we were going to one-shot everything that Volkner has. I guess he's going to be looking forward to more and more challengers in his gym, because he got absolutely destroyed in this battle. Last rival fight before the Elite Four. Alright, Staraptor's out first, and our attack is down, as usual. He crits an Aerial Ace for quite a bit of our health. We finish him off with Return. Heracross comes out, we hit Return, and we crit. Now that crit definitely mattered thanks to Intimidate. If we didn't one-shot Staraptor, we weren't one-shotting Heracross. Infernape's going to be a one-shot with Earthquake. More Shell Bell recovery. Floatzel's going to be a one-shot with Giga Drain. That's going to fully heal us. Roserade is definitely going to be a one-shot with Earthquake. I mean, I think Return and Crunch would have one-shot Roserade. Roserade's base defense is not good. Last out is Snorlax. We go for Earthquake. He goes for Body Slam and paralyzes us. He goes for Body Slam, getting a crit, and then we just finish him off with the next Earthquake. Alright, we can finally get ready for the Elite Four. Before that, though, I haven't looked at our stats in quite some time. Look, I know we use rare candies to level up for Cyrus because, I mean, really, why would I take all that time grinding when I'm trying to get this out quicker? Besides, our EVs were maxed. Like, grinding up by actual leveling up is just a waste. Yeah, we must have got a ton of speed EVs because I did not expect our speed to be that high. As expected, most of our moves were through level up, but all we did was use Return. Leech Seed wasn't really something we were going to use, as Giga Drain is just better. But hey, let's see if we can do this. First up is Bug Trainer Aaron, who leads Yanmega, but it just goes for Double Team. Now, I was worried when I saw Double Team because I thought our moves might miss. He goes for Bug Buzz, which does pretty good damage, but we just take him out with a Return. Oh yeah, I just want to say, if you're enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. We are very close to 200 subscribers, as I mentioned, and also comment for the algorithm. Because comments are good, and let's be honest, suggestions are good. Alright, getting sidetracked, and I wanted to reiterate myself. But also, I don't know, I just wanted to, like, I don't think I'd mentioned, you know, plugging the channel. Shameless plugs are also important. Oh yeah, we ended up going for Crunch on Heracross because I knew we'd use a full restore. Now, I thought he had a third full restore. He might only have 2, but just to save time, I thought Crunch and then Return knowing would finish him off, so Drapion was an obvious one-shot with Earthquake. So, you know how we had this insane fight against Bertha with Dunsparce? Yeah, forget all that. We destroyed her. I mean, look, okay, we have a super effective move for everything on our team except for Gliscor. I'm not exactly sure why Gliscor has Ice Fang though, but she was just a 2-shot with Return and Giga Drain. I honestly just didn't know if Return would finish her off because Gliscor's defense is pretty high, and I knew Giga Drain would do more damage thanks to its special defense being, I mean, it's decent, but Giga Drain stab. Rhyperior was a one-shot with Giga Drain. Now, if she would have sent in Hippowdon, I'm sure Rhyperior would have lived because it would have gotten a 50% boost to its defense. However, she sent in Rhyperior because Rhyperior has Avalanche, which is really interesting because it just seems silly that Rhyperior gets Avalanche. It just doesn't seem like a move that Rhyperior should get. Maybe it's just one of those goofy coverage things for ground coverage. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, Flint was easy. Same thing with Volkner where we just scroll over to Earthquake and press A 5 times. Yeah, this is about what I expected from this fight. There was no way we were losing. If Infernape would have outsped us, he could have, you know, hit a Flare Blitz. But really, it wasn't going to KO and we were just going to one-shot with Earthquake. We could have probably won this fight at level 70. Shoot, I think Cyrus has been tough. Cyrus and Candice have been tougher than the whole Elite Four. Last up is Psychic Trainer Lucian. Mr. Mime and Espeon are both one-shots with Crunch, thanks to their frail defenses, and Crunch being super effective. Next out is Bronzong, who I was hoping would attack, but he just goes for Calm Mind, which only boosts his special stats, so Crunch finishes him off. Last out is Alakazam, who hits a Psychic, we one-shot with Crunch, and then Gallade, who comes out after, gets one-shot with Earthquake, and that's 4 easy wins in the Elite Four. Shoot, maybe I've been underestimating Torterra this entire time. It just cleaned house. With that out of the way, we can finally prepare ourselves for Pokemon Champion Cynthia. Now, this was my second attempt. Spiritomb is going to be a 2-shot, just like the first time. Now, I was really worried she might get a boost off of Silverwind that I totally forgot she gets, but she didn't get a boost. Togekiss is a 2-shot with Return. It goes for Air Slash, but it misses. And then, again, Return just finishes it off. Now, I was curious how much Air Slash would have done, because if that would have landed, that would have hurt. And the crazy thing is, that factored in a lot to Milotic as well, which was a 2-shot. Ice Beam did half. Now, again, if Air Slash would have hit, I don't think we would have won. Now, Garchomp the first time ended up burning us with Flamethrower, which is why we ended up losing. A little bit of luck with that Air Slash miss, and it's crazy. Now, she ends up healing up with a full restore. I decided to use Giga Drain. Now, I know Earthquake was going to do more, but we're going to need all the health we can get because I wanted to make sure that Flamethrower wasn't going to finish us off. Thankfully, her Flamethrower doesn't crit, and because of our Giga Drains, we would have lived that crit. So now we're able to take it out with the Earthquake. Lucario is going to be a one-shot with Earthquake, and Roserade, unsurprisingly, is also going to be a one-shot with Earthquake, getting us the win on only our second attempt. Now, if that Air Slash would have landed, there is no chance we win. So I am going to factor that in if I was to be ranking all of the starters. If I'm honestly looking at this, I think Infernape, despite everyone saying that it's the best of the starters, I think it's going to have the worst time. Water Gym is going to be difficult. And that's the next starter I'd have for here as well, and that's going to be tough. That Bertha fight is going to be brutal. Anyway, it only took us just over 9 hours. Also, the rare candies kind of factored in a little bit too. We also got some berries and ethers, so I didn't have to use Pokemon Centers. But hey, just over 9 hours is pretty good. I think that's one of the fastest runs we've done. Way faster than Dunsparce. Alright, so for the next video, I'm actually going to be releasing one next week. Now, normally, I've been trying to get these out every 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm going to start going back to that after next week's video, but my birthday's coming up, and I thought I'd release a special little video next Saturday in Pokemon Crystal. Now, I'm not going to be giving any spoilers as to what it is, but the run is already finished, and it's all been edited. I just have to do the voiceover. But leave suggestions down below in the comment section. One, because I need ideas, but also do it for the algorithm. YouTube loves comments. But really, leave them. I want to see what you suggest, and also join the Discord, link in the description, and leave suggestions in the comment submission section of the video. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.